I'm Melissa Melton reporting for InfoWars Nightly News. The day after the Super Bowl, the top story on Yahoo.com was, did Beyonce flash an Illuminati sign? Next to a picture of Beyonce making a pyramid hand symbol, the article goes on to say, according to legend, the Illuminati are a tiny super-secret cabal of influential individuals who have shaped the course of world events. So it makes perfect sense that Beyonce would flash their triangle sign to one of the largest viewing audiences in human history. What better way to preserve a secret? That's a definite possibility. Founded by Bavarian professor of law Adam Weishaupt in 1776, the Illuminati is considered the most notorious secret society, a sect bent on manipulating reality and dominating through a world government. These so-called illuminated ones have been referred to by some as Satan's elite, whom they worship. Their symbol is a pyramid to illustrate the idea of a top-down societal control system, and the pyramid features an all-seeing eye, or the Eye of Lucifer. InfoWars has reported extensively on the history of the Illuminati, their birthplace, their prevalence in popular culture, music, movies, and their intent to dominate the world. While the article's language seems to sarcastically play off Beyonce's hand gesture as no big deal, this isn't the first time we've seen questionable symbolism at the Super Bowl.
Look at these screenshots we've got from last night's Super Bowl performance by Madonna, and then you can also Google image search for yourself and type in Baphomet. And of course we see that Madonna is dressed up as Baphomet. She's sitting on the throne of Baphomet. She's got the horns. Later on, she's got the hand gestures of Baphomet. This is the idol that the American people during Super Bowl halftime show are being told to worship. So, who's Baphomet? Baphomet is an idol used by Satanists to represent the devil.
This also isn't the first time we've seen questionable symbolism from Beyonce. The pagan deity Baphomet, a figure revived in the 19th century as an idol for Satan worship, has been prominently featured in her videos and album artwork, and she even wears a Baphomet ring. And Beyonce isn't the only music star by far who's been called out for having hidden symbolism in her videos. The Yahoo article claims that Beyonce is merely supporting her husband's record label, but if this symbol is a diamond and not a pyramid, why are he, Beyonce, and other stars seen looking through it with one eye? In addition, let's analyze this shirt sold under Jay-Z's clothing label. It again depicts the pyramid hand symbol with the all-seeing eye atop it, and 13 rays of light coming out of the sides, encircled by a serpent and other smaller symbols with the tagline, Masters of the Craft, at the bottom. Jay-Z has also had some interesting critiques of hidden messages in his music as well.
Jay-Z, H to the Izzo, V to the Izzy, Jehovah God. That's what he calls himself. We just happen to come across a very disturbing song by Brother Jay-Z and has a backwards message in it, and we had to reverse the song and play the song backwards. Six, six, six. Murder, murder, Jesus. Six, six, six.
And the rapper has gone on record wondering why people have linked him to devil worship and the Illuminati. When asked by radio personality Angie Martinez if these rumors of deliberately adding images to his videos were true, Jay-Z responded, "No, never done that before. Why would I do that? That's retarded." But here's a clip of another interview where Jay-Z actually admits he hides messages in his music.
And then I start doing, these different, hidden messages in the music, just as that replaced, the technical aspect of it. And then it's just, evolved from there.
The Super Bowl aside, we've seen other curious eye symbolism at major events. At the one-year anniversary of 9/11, the band marched out onto Ground Zero in what appeared to be an all-seeing eye formation. Are all of these mere coincidences? Many people ask, if the Illuminati is such a super-secret cabal and they're so devious, why are they openly hiding their symbols in plain sight? In his book Secret Societies and Psychological Warfare, Michael Hoffman II calls this revelation of the method, or advertising one's power openly to amplify it, gloating and flaunting the idea that resistance is futile before an unsuspecting public. Are all of these established Illuminati symbols supposed to acclimate people subconsciously to a darker agenda, or are we really supposed to believe that all-seeing eyes and pyramids and Baphomet costumes are going to be the new theme for the Super Bowl every year? And what is the average person supposed to think about this continuous symbolism inundation? Or is the truth that they're not supposed to think at all, but just go along with their regularly scheduled programming? I mean, how many coincidences can you have before it's not a coincidence anymore? These are overt messages of elite domination by a covert group parading a pageant of mass conditioning before the public in a culture dominated by television at a sporting event watched by millions every year. And many do not even realize what's happening. If it doesn't mean anything, why is it there? For InfoWars Nightly News, I'm Melissa Melton.
And so again, that's a recap of yet again these strange occurrences happening at the halftime show at the Super Bowl. Madonna did her strange ritual last year. Beyonce blinged all these messages. And really, there should be no denial. They're clearly demonstrating Illuminati, Masonic, other occultic symbols. But the point is, why? Why would they do it if the public doesn't know what's going on? Well, they rule the public by demonstrating their dominance over them, by putting suggestive subliminal messages into our daily lives. Is it really going on? Well, ask yourself politically how we came to work against our own interests, to turn out over the power of our own lives to these politicians who give us phony pretexts, 9/11, the war on terror, phony WMD exploits, to take over our constitutional bounds and run over us. Meanwhile, we've submitted to this consumer culture. We've learned to believe in and buy in these celebrities. We watch these commercials where we relate to the little short messages they give us. And why not demonstrate some of the hardcore control symbols that they put into us? People don't know how to read anymore. You've got to remember, literacy has been an ongoing tens of thousands of year struggles. In old times, it was only kings and priest class who could read at all or afford books because they had to be transcribed by hand. The rise of the printing press changed that to a large extent, and many revolutionary tendencies were built on that principle. The whole Age of Enlightenment, the American Revolution, was on the backs of the printing press and people learning to read. You've got the regular text, that's the words, the things as you see them, but there's also subtext, the things between the lines, the things they're not saying, and there's also the context. What is surrounding it? What other events are happening at the time? That's the kind of analyzation we need to use. My literature teacher was actually pretty good in public schools, taught us how to read between the lines and see what authors and other things were really meaning. We analyzed 1984, and it's really played a big role in my awakening and one of the reasons I'm here. And so with that in mind, let's look at the Super Bowl. Melissa Melton, you joined us. You analyzed these things, why they display these ritualistic like symbols during the Super Bowl, during this mass event where everyone tunes into television, everyone watches this one performance.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people have come out since I did this report, and they've actually said that if it's just Jay-Z's record label, that's just his symbol for his record label, and we're making a big deal out of nothing. However, why would you pick something that's been historically linked to devil worship and the Illuminati? It's been around for a very long time. That's like if I went and got a record label and I decided to make the swastika my symbol and then got offended when people linked it to Nazis, you know? And I said, well, that's just a weird X. I don't know why you're thinking that about me. I mean, it's ridiculous. And actually, in analyzing it even further, we found the Pepsi commercial that they showed beforehand, the little intro into the Super Bowl, had some subliminal messages in it.
I didn't see it, but tell us what's in it.
We got a clip. Actually, we're going to play a clip.
Do we have that, guys?
So, right here. This was shown for maybe half a second.
And again, PrisonPlanet.tv viewers can see what's going on, but they're showing the Pepsi can. They're flashing through hundreds of people. They're showing sneakers. It's all very fast motion. And oh, there's devil horns
a girl
just
in
there,
devil horns sticking
just for a second, half a
right.
second.
And then the very next image after that is an eyeball, just gigantic eyeball right there, all-seeing eye right there. I mean, why would they have that? Why do they need to have a girl flashing devil horns hidden in there, basically? I mean, you have to really slow it down to even notice that it's there.
Well, you've got a whole history of masonry, of the Illuminati, in relation to the power structure. People who want power or are at the pinnacle of power are brought into these societies. That's how they are given higher office. And then you've got the whole celebrity culture, Hollywood, who's learned to read these messages, learn that they're supposed to interject them in for the masses without the masses necessarily understanding what they're seeing, but they convey, especially the pyramid with the all-seeing eye, they convey top-down control, that the masses are supposed to submit. And does it have an effect? Well, we see it every day in music videos and commercials. It's just that the Super Bowl is extra on display because it's a primary moment.
People.
104 million viewers.
They're saying watched Beyonce's 112 Madonna's, million people.
Yeah, Madonna. Okay, so I made the case on the nightly news the other night after they aired your report that it was this secret symbolism, hidden messages for top-down control. But could it really be considered a ritual? Is there really something satanic or hidden going on here? Well, let's hear what Madonna herself had to say about her Super Bowl performance last year.
Are you nervous about doing the Super Bowl?
Oh my God, I'm so nervous. You have no idea. I am.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, first of all, it's the Super Bowl. I mean, the Super Bowl is kind of like the Holy of Holies in America, right? So, like, here I am. I'm going to come into the halfway between, like, the church experience, and I'm going to have to deliver a sermon that's going to have to be very impactful.
So there again, I might even play that clip one more time just so we make sure the listeners are analyzing the words she's using. She sacrilegiously says the Super Bowl is like a holy of holies, says it's like a church event, and that she's going to give the sermon. And then you look, this was before the Super Bowl, look at what she did in her, quote, sermon at the Super Bowl. She displayed Baphomet. She did all these weird ritualistic things. Could it really be a ritual? Well, for her, it's a church. Let's play it one more time.
Are you nervous about doing the Super Bowl?
Oh my God, I'm so nervous. You have no idea. I am.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, first of all, it's the Super Bowl. I mean, the Super Bowl is kind of like the Holy of Holies in America, right? So, like, here I am. I'm going to come into the halfway between, like, the church experience, and I'm going to have to deliver a sermon. It's going to have to be very impactful.
She's going to deliver a sermon.
Her Baphomet ritual was a sermon.
Exactly. And so if it doesn't matter, it doesn't necessarily matter if the people believe it or not. She obviously does.
And she's admittedly into Kabbalah and all kinds of other secret society
Gnosticism.
stuff. And a lot of these people in entertainment are, and she's been propped up for decades as a major cultural icon. Everybody loves or hates her, but they know who she is.
Yeah, well, and so you've got this being paraded around in front of people, and even this year, it was more subtle this year, but there was still a lot of symbolism and bizarre things throughout Beyonce's performance. And then we also have a clip of people in the crowd mirroring her symbols back to her and making devil horns and making triangle, pyramid things. And so it has an effect, obviously. Obviously it does. Obviously it's brainwashing people whether they realize it is or not.
And whether these things are ultimately meaningful or not is yours to discover and decide, but it's in all the mass media we're watching every day. People, you really shouldn't be watching television more than maybe a couple minutes to catch maybe a major news story. It's not just entertainment. It is, quote, programming, and they really have changed our society with it. They've shown it contributes to declining sperm counts. It contributes to this people in an alpha state who lose touch with their regular consciousness, follow the leader, do what they're told, and really aren't engaged in society. It's destructive in so many forms, and there's just so much of the symbolism going on. Your comments, take us out to break, and we'll come back with a little bit more.
Well, obviously, Yahoo.com had that as their main top story for the day. Did Beyonce flash an Illuminati sign? So, and the reason is so many people came out and said that she did. Obviously, they think it's an issue enough to make it the main top story for the day. So if it doesn't mean anything, why is it there?
ProPure is introducing